try to be objective with all of my sports coverage, and listen, Jacy Sheldon objectively should be suspended for this play. I just don't know in what world, in what universe you watch that play back and you go, that was a basketball play. She was trying to make a basketball move, especially with all the angles of this.
The voices aren't just loud anymore. They're roaring. From Twitter to national television, from gym bleachers to corporate boardrooms. Everyone is screaming one thing: protect Caitlin Clark. Because what happened on that Tuesday night wasn't just another foul.
Sheldon was clearly targeting Caitlin Clark most of this game, and that is, that comes from a function of, she guarded her in one-on-one situations a lot up the court, and then rolled into a lot of doubles in the half court, but there was talking and chirping all game, and for me, it was punctuated by Caitlin Clark's final play before she came out of the game, where she stares Jacy Sheldon down, essentially demonstrates, she's like, if you poke me in my eye, I will shoot it in yours. And she crosses her, finds the favorite spot, free throw line extended from the logo area, big fuck you 3 to Jacy Sheldon, yells at the Connecticut bench, yells at the crowd. Her and Jacy Sheldon come back together. Caitlin fires up the audience, basically tells Jacy Sheldon, you are a bum.
It was a full-blown assault in front of millions, and for many, it was the final breaking point. The trust between fans and league officials is shattering, one incident at a time. Jacy Sheldon didn't just commit a hard foul, she crossed a line that the WNBA can no longer afford to ignore. During what should have been a standard game between the Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun, Sheldon poked the league's most valuable star in the eye and smiled while doing it. Then she grabbed Clark's arm, dug her nails into her, and watched as Marina Mabrey shoved her to the ground from behind.
Every time Caitlin Clark takes the court, her opponents act like they've been booked for a main event brawl. The WNBA is doing nothing about it. Opponents aren't playing ball. They're strategically ambushing her. They're trying to injure her. Opponents bring chaos. She brings composure. And what Sophie did last night is completely valid. The WNBA has to do something about this.
Clark and Jacy Sheldon. There is a legitimate hatred there. If you guys have heard, this Ohio State team, this 2023 Ohio State team hated that Iowa team. And this is Jacy Sheldon, who was Caitlin Clark's direct matchup in these games. Like I tweeted out, forget Angel, forget Dejanay. This is Caitlin Clark's one true rival.
Funny thing about that whole Caitlin and Jacy situation last night is it's like on a if you know thing. These two have been running the friendly fade on the court for like the last 4 years. They played in college, had great battles, so I'm not surprised last night happened.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe.
That wasn't basketball. That was calculated violence. It was targeted, malicious, and devastating. And the fans, they've had enough. They've watched Clark get hacked, shoved, elbowed, and now poked in the eye. Each time, the punishment is lighter than a slap on the wrist. But this time, the rage is different. It's organized. It's exploding. In the hours after the game, the outrage exploded like wildfire. Hashtags like #ban Jacy Sheldon trended globally. Fans flooded Sheldon's Instagram. ESPN anchors raised their eyebrows. Even Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show and Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports joined the conversation. This wasn't just a sports moment. This was a cultural flashpoint, a reckoning.
Oh, you know what? I'm just going to be me. I don't go in there trying to predetermine anything. I'm dialed in. I need to focus on hitting my shots, making sure I'm executing the schemes right. I'm not focused on the extracurricular activities. And you know what? During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. And I'm a team player, so it's all good.
Look at it from behind or from the side. It's so obvious that she straight up leapt out towards Caitlin and got her right in the eye. And the more I try and watch it back and you try to be objective, there is no world where this was a basketball play. And yes, she was playing tough defense on Caitlin up until that point, but she leapt forward. And it's not like it's defensible where you can say she tried to get the ball, because her hand at that point was so far away from where the ball was. It's not like Caitlin was dribbling the ball up near her face. How she was not ejected for this, I don't know. The broadcast was talking about it, and that's why Sophie Cunningham even had the opportunity to hard foul her at the end. I don't know what you do, but the league's got to do something.
We'd stop the fighting. He thought they meant the WNBA. What is going on? Protect Caitlin Clark at all costs, please. Enough of this. Please.
Listen, bring Caitlin Clark to the NBA right now. Because the refs ain't gonna protect her. She only got one teammate, and that's her, who gonna do something about it. Like, yo, yesterday, that's malice in the palace activity. Call for it. That y'all should have been throwing hands all over the place. How do you get poked in the eye, then get thrown to the ground, and then you receive a technical foul? And don't none of your teammates want to step up, fight, squabble, none of that. They just looking like, yo, it's been, we know that y'all been targeting Caitlin Clark now. Now, I'm even watching, I'm like, hold on, what? Like, how are y'all letting this happen? How are y'all not protecting this girl? Now, she clearly is a superstar, right? But there's plenty superstars in the WNBA, and don't none of them get treated the way Caitlin Clark get treated. Now, y'all gonna mess up and ruin the whole numbers, your ratings, your sponsor, all that, if y'all don't have Caitlin Clark in y'all's league. So y'all better start acting right.
Twitter timelines were flooded with slow-motion replays of the eye poke, frame-by-frame breakdowns of Sheldon's grin, and furious threads demanding answers. Reddit threads reached thousands of comments, with users comparing the WNBA's treatment of Clark to a public sacrifice of their own superstar. The WNBA's response: a mere $200 fine for Sheldon, $400 for Mabry, but Sophie Cunningham, the only one who stepped up to defend Clark, she was ejected and later fined. The irony couldn't be more painful. So let's get this straight. You attack Caitlin Clark and it costs less than dinner. You defend her, you get punished. If the league wanted to look weak, tone deaf, and backward, they succeeded. Media fallout. News outlets across the country ran with the story. Major networks aired the footage in primetime. Talk shows debated whether Clark was being systematically targeted. Sports journalists began referring to the WNBA's officiating as broken. The New York Times published an op-ed titled "When Greatness Becomes a Target," exploring how sports leagues have historically failed to protect generational athletes. YouTubers, podcasters, and TikTok creators amplified the story, dissecting every frame, every reaction, and every missed call. And for the first time, casual sports fans...
This has been a very contentious 12 hours since the game. A lot of people on ESPN saying ridiculous things, like Monica McNutt saying she had no problem with Marina Mabry's foul. And I look at that in comparison to the Sophie Cunningham foul, which I have seen people say has no place in the league, unsportsmanlike, when that actually is a lot more sportsmanlike than the Marina Mabry one. Marina Mabry was completely disconnected from the play, had nothing to do with it. There was no play even going on when Marina Mabry did that.
What you have in Caitlin Clark is a once-in-a-generation talent. She was massively successful in college, and that's transcended into the WNBA, where she's leaps and bounds above pretty much most every player there. You're allowing her to get beaten up on the regular during games, flagrant fouls, people trying to take her eye out. That's happened a couple different times last year and this year. And you're not protecting.
One could argue she is an A-level star, and they don't even have B and C-level stars. From A, it drops to D. She is the entire league, and they allow things like this to happen last night against the Connecticut Sun.
Watch when Caitlin Clark is trying to create some space. It looked like she just got hit in the eye there.
Oh, and Marina Mabry, I missed that one, Edona.
Oh, I missed that one too.
Like, it wasn't just a hard foul accident. Like, there's nothing Caitlin Clark has done in response at this point. So what's the point in bowing up into her face? And immediately, I don't think Caitlin's even extended her arm to push her away. Maybe the coaching is, hey, if you're physical with Caitlin Clark, it's one of the only ways to stop her. Yes. So, like, they're all encouraged to be really physically aggressive. But it's hard not to look at this and think there's animus towards her. You got to protect Caitlin Clark.
Those outside the WNBA's core audience began to take notice. The attack on Clark had transcended the league. It had become a national conversation. Economic impact. Caitlin Clark isn't just a player. She's the economic engine of the WNBA. According to Dr. Ryan Brewer, she generated 26.5% of the league's entire economic activity during her rookie year. That's over $1 billion projected for 2025, all while earning just $78,000. The Fever franchise valuation jumped from $90 $90 million to $340 million in one season, all because of Clark. That's a $250 million leap, yet the league lets players go after her for $200 fines. It's not just bad optics, it's business malpractice. From sold-out arenas to nationally televised games drawing record-breaking viewership, Clark has breathed life into a league that many had already written off. She is the WNBA's ticket to relevance and survival. Merchandise tied to her likeness sells out within minutes. Her jerseys dominate online and in-arena sales. When she plays, fans show up. When she's out, ticket prices drop, seats empty, and engagement dwindles. Fan movement and demands. Now, fans are organizing. They're demanding $25,000 to $50,000 fines for attackers. They want suspension policies for flagrant targeting. Some are even pushing for compensation systems where fines go directly to Clark. Others suggest a protection bonus clause written into every contract specifically designed to safeguard star players who drive economic growth. Social media is mobilized. More than just hashtags, fans are calling into sports radio stations, starting GoFundMe petitions to pay for Clark's security, and even contacting WNBA sponsors to pull advertising until the league implements new protection protocols. Videos of Clark getting fouled have been turned into viral montages, captioned "Why She Needs Protection." And it's not just about fairness, it's about protecting the league's only guaranteed draw. Without Clark, ratings plummet, attendance drops, merch doesn't sell, and sponsors walk. Multiple petitions are circulating with thousands of signatures. Instagram Reels and TikToks with the hashtag number Protect Caitlin Clark are gaining millions of views. The message is loud and unified: do better or lose us. League reputation on the line. What makes this moment even more pivotal is the WNBA's fragile brand reputation. Over the years, the league has struggled for mainstream acceptance, corporate sponsorships, and national reach.
Caitlin Clark is non-disrespectable. That's not even a word, but I'm going to just use it for the point of my video. You cannot disrespect the nucleus of women's basketball and act like it's not going to be a problem, man. Oh, Caitlin Clark could do this, but other people can't. You goddamn right. Because she's the center of women's basketball. We've said this a million times. Clark changed the game. She is the nucleus, the center, the black hole. Everything revolves around Clark with women's basketball, man, because of her influence.
Caitlin Clark is the golden goose. Every game she is dropping golden eggs, and they are trying to strangle the golden goose to death. There's jealousy, there is hate. Everyone in the league seems to hate the fact that Caitlin Clark is making the league relevant. If I were advising Caitlin Clark, I would say start your own pro basketball league for women. I don't know why she benefits from the WNBA at all. She could go out, she is the draw for women's basketball, and set up her own league. She might even be able to own the majority of the league. She could probably become a billionaire. Set it up with far fewer teams. You play far fewer games. Heck, they did it with Live Golf. I think the audience would follow Caitlin Clark wherever she goes.
Clark changed that. She made the WNBA must-watch television. She brought new fans, big brands, and undeniable excitement. But now, the league risks squandering that momentum. Sponsors like Nike, Gatorade, and Google have all aligned their brands with Caitlin Clark. Continued violence against her, especially when met with weak consequences, puts those partnerships at risk. Corporate sponsors care about values, optics, and brand safety. Allowing repeated aggression against the league's top earner puts all of that in jeopardy. The solution: the WNBA needs to do more than tweet support. It needs real deterrence. $25,000 minimum fines for flagrant fouls on Clark, multi-game suspensions for repeat offenders, mandatory review of in-game officiating, referee accountability and replacement if they fail to protect star players, player protection bonus built into league policy, transparent reporting on disciplinary action, because here's the truth: if they don't protect Clark now, she will leave. And when she does, the billion-dollar machine leaves with her. Europe is watching, other leagues are ready. If the WNBA won't treat her like the superstar she is, someone else will. Even Ice Cube's Big Three reportedly offered her millions, and she hasn't said no. Athletes are mobile, global, and fiercely protective of their value. If the WNBA can't keep Clark safe, she may decide to take her gifts elsewhere. Conclusion, Jacy Sheldon's attack should be the final straw, not just because it was dangerous, but because it was allowed to happen, because the WNBA leadership did nothing, because the referees swallowed their whistles, because the consequences didn't match the crime. Caitlin Clark is the WNBA's lifeline. She's not replaceable. She's not just another jersey. She's the future of women's basketball. And if the WNBA doesn't act now, they won't just lose a player. They'll lose everything she built. And this isn't just about basketball anymore. This is about protecting greatness before it's driven out of the game forever. Protect her or prepare to watch it all fall apart.